So I got another retail win directly off of sneakers. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sneaker Circle. It's your boy Danny, back with another review, and I'm gonna go over this box. I'm gonna go over everything, but let's take a second to appreciate the packaging on this sneaker. I'm gonna take these out. I'm gonna show you how it is, and let's just go straight to it. And in today's video, we are reviewing the Off-White Air Jordan 2. Now, these are crazy. Let's get straight into it, but first, let's touch up on the box a little. So putting holes into the boxes isn't something very new when it comes to Off-White. He did it with the Air Jordans. He did it with the Dunks that just released. It's his thing now, tryptophobia, for the people that don't like holes. But I really like how he made this entire box clear and plastic. I don't know, it gives it a nice like display piece kind of feel to it. Here is that size tag for anyone that wants to know. $250 retail, which is pretty high, like $50 more than I was expecting. But still, the details about it are just so great. I'm gonna get all into that. Everything else on the shoe, right here, that Off-White Air Wings logo. You got Nike, everything right there. And like, for example, like take out this stuff real quick and let's just have like the sneaker in by itself, you know? Like, let's say you just wanted to rock it like that. You put it upside down and you got like a perfect display piece. And it kind of like, it gives this reminiscent feel of what he tried to achieve with this sneaker, especially with the details. But let me pull the other shoe out. Let me get it out of the bag and I'm gonna throw out what it feels like to have them in these bags. So, box out of the way, if I can close it. So I really like the presentation. I really like the packaging. I'm a big fan of it. Having it wrapped in the tissue paper is just like the incorporation of the tissue paper. I don't think it means much in terms of like how it's presented, but when each one comes in this little Ziploc bag, it reminds me of what people used to do for, you know, the original Air Jordans, the retros, their 89 Air Jordan 4s, their 2000 Air Jordan 6s, infrareds, breads, everything, realistically, everything that was crumbling. I remember a lot of people used to put them in Ziploc bags, keep them like sealed like that. The first OG I bought when I started collecting was a pair of 97 Obsidian 12s. And when I got them from Japan, because the collector was out in Japan, they came zipped to like, I guess, preserve them, because the tab was really known for cracking, and I guess that's just something people did. So him giving us these little Ziplocs for the bags, it's not Ziplocs, just like zip up bags. I really like it. I think it's a dope little touch, and it goes with the aesthetic of the rest of the sneaker. So tissue paper has Off-White branding right here, if I can actually catch that. You see that little ghost face he's been using, and the Air Jordan logo with Off-White on it. But man, the shoes themselves, I don't know, I really wanted the white pair. The white pair was the pair that was goated in my eyes, because that's an original colorway. I'm not too sure if this black was an original colorway or not. It feels too new or too like recent, and it goes in line with what he usually does, at least with the beginning of his collection. So you think of the 10, you think of everything that came after the 10, Prestos, Blazers, M90s, Air Forces, everything was either in white or black, you know? And I guess that's what he did with the Air Jordan 2s. We got an original Chicago white pair, and then we got this black and blue pair. I don't know if it was like to imitate Royals or whatever the case may be. This might have been an original colorway that I'm just not too familiar with. My knowledge of 2s is basically collabs in the original Chicago colorway. And I think Do the Right Thing had a pair of 2s, or I'm thinking 3s. I'm not 100% sure if I'm remembering that right. So getting straight into the shoe, I guess the first detail we can really touch up on is the sole. So looking at the sole really closely, we do have all these like cracks and details that people weren't really excited for, but actually like, It's supposed to imitate how original Jordans fall apart, anything from 2 to I think 9. I think 10 as well. 10s fall apart as well. 11s when they started using more of like those carbon fiber soles, clear rubber soles, and those just traditionally need re-gluing after a lot of wear. 12s also don't fall apart. They have the same carbon fiber and rubber and like air padding mixture. They don't use polyurethane like the original Jordans do. Now even Air Jordan 1s, that's a rubber sole, everyone's familiar with it, does have a polyurethane footbed in there. This is why they get dusty after like a lot of time. A lot of people don't believe they do, but they do. They really do. So usually when people do sole swaps, they swap that polyurethane like footbed that's inside. It's in all Air Jordan 1s. So it's not something that'll be as drastic as like a pair of 2s or a pair of 3s, which the whole sole will fall apart in your hands. But it's getting beside the point. So in this shoe, he tries to mimic that cracking pattern. There's a spotlight area here that I can show you. But what's really cool about it is it's kind of a mixture. It's a mold. This whole Air Jordan 2 sole is a mold. So it's like a hard, almost silicone where the cracks are. And then in certain parts, you have the durability or the pushback of the polyurethane. And you can kind of tell, let me get as close as possible. You see how the texture changes on the sole? So everything that looks a little more rugged, that's polyurethane. You can press down, it gives bounce, it gives support. But anything that's like not like this crack right here, this part right here, or even this black section right here, you push down and it's hard. It's hard like you're pushing down on like a rubber sole, if I may. Like this is a little more bendable than this is. And this is like, what, that's your like heel guard plastic that's used to just cup your heel. Now, I did hear a rumor that each pair is kind of different, but I think just the left and the right pairs are different. I'm pretty sure like if I were to see a size 10 in these or a size 8.5 in these, the design and the cracks should be the same. I'm not 100% sure. I have to see more pairs to like confirm that. I'll probably look online and look on Feats just to confirm or just like rule out that rumor. So looking at the bottom, even the bottom has the mold of like cracks. So it looks like you have a crack right here. You have a crack on the Nike logo. And another little cool detail on the left shoe, you actually do get the size. So let me see if I can get it on camera. You see that 10.5 right there in the Nike. And look, both Nikes are different. So it's not like one mold they use for each of the shoe. It's like a set of molds. Yeah, in my mind, there's no way that each cracking pattern is unique. That just sounds like a bunch of bread. But then again, these did retail for what, $250? But I'm pretty sure that just went into the design of the sole. Now, one thing that's gonna make that kind of awkward is that in 10 years, 12 years, 13 years, whoever still has these pairs, that polyurethane is gonna give out, and you're gonna be kind of left with just that hard plastic like molded cracks, which I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of cool. Impossible to probably fix, but kind of cool. So looking at the other details of the shoe, the thing I've been flaunting this whole time, you do have Michael Jordan's signature right there. And I really do like how it's kind of incorporated into two different types of material. Like it wasn't just on the leather panel and then they just stitched everything together, you know? So you're not gonna get that kind of quality control error where maybe the leather patch, like this was printed a little too low and Michael Jordan's cut off. The shoe was built, this whole upper was constructed, and then the screen print went over because you can kind of tell with a little bit of like silver marking that's like left over. I'm not saying someone just wrote it in, but it's definitely like printed on there after the build, which is, it's a nice touch. It's kind of a nice touch to kind of preserve that signature, you know? The leather is nice, it's soft, it's supple. It's not the best I felt, but then again, they don't release a lot of Air Jordan 2s. And every time they do, they treat them as like such a low tier release that don't really get a lot of love. Now these are a low top instead of like the regular up to here pair, which it's cool. I've never owned a low top pair of Air Jordan 2s before. And I'm not gonna lie, I like them a little bit more than I would the high tops, but I really did want that Chicago colorway. So taking a look at right here, got that Air Jordan tongue. It's that same leather feel that the rest of the shoe has. This pebbled leather right here, I think this is the best way to show it. This like imitation alligator hide or snake hide or whatever it's trying to be. It's definitely tougher. It's not as smooth as this, obviously, Danny, because it's textured. But like the give of it is different. Like when you press down, it's a little stiffer. Here is a little more like movable, if I may. And besides those details, you do have just that exposed foam collar around and on the tongue. So I already tried these on. You can stay true to size. They're pretty wide foot friendly. Just treat them like a pair of threes. I'm gonna be real with you. Treat them like a pair of threes and you will be fine. That's how I approached it, and it worked just fine for me. And I guess the last little details we can really touch on is the laces. Well, I'll show you the insole as well. We do have that little ghost face that he's been doing right there. We do have a Jumpman right there, and then all the way up there, I probably can't show it, but there is a Nike Air all the way up here. White insole, that's cool. I'm pretty sure the Chicago colorway has a red insole. And I guess let's take a close look at this text before I get into the laces. Bop, bop, bop. Super nice. So again, I don't know where this colorway comes from. I don't know if it's an original colorway or not. But one thing he did is he did give us kind of a different blue when it comes to what's on the shoe. So when you look at the shoe, you do have this like royal blue, and I'll try to show it as best on camera. But this is like a brighter blue than this. This is like a true royal, like you would see on like what Air Jordan 1s. And this is a little more bright. It's a little more just in your face. Same here, same on the sole. And I think he did that because this is to kind of show, you know how laces are usually the first thing to age on a really old sneaker. They start getting discolored and stuff like that. If you look at Foxtrot, you can see a lot of his like inspired vintage laces, and you can kind of see where I'm coming from. They're not to that extent, but they're enough to just be a different shade. And I like that. It's the little details that like really make the shoe worthwhile, in my opinion. Now, getting into that, I don't know if it's worth like what these are going for $400 right now in the aftermarket. That's fine. That's usually what to expect with an off-white release that was really hyped. But that Chicago colorways in my size is going for like $700, and that kind of hurts me because I was hoping to trade these and some cash for Chicago's, but I'm not willing to upfront that much cash. I'd rather just keep these. But there is stated to be the boutique release. So far this only released on sneakers and at the off-white locations. A lot of retailers right now are still like putting up their raffles, so you do still have a chance to get these or the Chicago colorway. That being said, the release that already happened was crazy limited. There wasn't that many pairs on sneakers itself, and I'm hearing like on sneakers, like certain sizes were already blacked out in certain colorways. Like you didn't have the best luck, you know? And at the off-white locations, some sizes were missing from what I've been reading and hearing what people have been saying. So for those that watched this video before that release, good luck. Hope you hit. And I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video. If this video was helpful, feel free to drop a comment. Let me know what you think about these. Like the video, maybe sub to the channel, you know, give your boy some love. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. I'm gonna be in Colombia this week, so the videos might be coming out a little slow rolled. I did get cool grays off of the early release, but not gonna be able to do a review on them till they get back. I will see you guys then. Peace.